Hello everyone and welcome. It's Shanna. I'm so glad you're here today. Now today's video is an unboxing of the new release from Not Too Shabby, and it is the Paper Club of the month for June 2026, and I'm just going to open up the elements and show you what we've got. And we are going to make a fun pop-up card that I just saw on a friend's channel that I will give you information about, but it's going to be super fun. So we have got the Playful Prints 6x6 sheets, and we have got 12 designs, and there's like a bright yellow and then like a lighter yellow, and then we've got another yellow. So you've got your yellow options here, and then we move kind of into a lime green. We've got a moss green option here, and you get 4 sheets of that, and then kind of a, I don't know, bright green, and then like a mint green, and then we have a teal green, and we have got a blue pattern, and we've got a lighter blue, and then we have got a purple, and we have a lighter purple. And so that is the Playful Prints, and this is a great set to just layer with anything. And then we've got this cute Sea Critters 6x6 sheets, and there are 12 designs, double-sided, and this is heavy. It's cardstock, and we've got super cute. We've got all the little sea creatures, or critters as the title calls it, and we've got it in pink and the blue and the teal, and we've got a pink pattern here, and we've got, I've picked them up, I've picked up half of some and half of another, so I'm going to pick them up and show you again. So this is the pink page, and I'd gotten half of it. It's got the light with the back, and then it goes with the others. And then this was the one that had the blue sea creatures, and then it's got this teal on the back of it. So really, really pretty, and I love the colors. I love the different options that you have of working with it. This blue, or this pink, really speaks to me. And then we have purple, and on the back of it, I mean, this is kind of a busy pattern, these creature patterns are. So on the back, she's paired them with kind of a non-busy pattern. And this is kind of a wavy line and dot pattern. Now this is like kind of like a sea glass blended, and then you've got creatures on the back of it, and it's super cute. Now this is the cut aparts page, and there are 4 of these, and you've got some creatures that you can cut out that you can use, and I think they're super fun. So there are 4 of those, and then we have yellow on the back if you choose not to use the sea critters that are on there. And then we've got this striped pattern, and we're going to use this pattern on our card today along with that kind of seafoam green watercolored pattern, and we're going to make a pop-up card. And like I said, I've never made this card before. I was watching a video from my friend Vicky this morning. Here is the stamp set that goes with it, and it is called See You Soon. And we've got an octopus, we've got some fish, we've got some coral and some seaweed. It's to slow down and enjoy. I'm here if you need a hand. See you soon. And we've got a turtle and a starfish and a crab and a hermit crab and some shells. And we've got sorry for being crabby. So super fun stamp set. I'm not going to get into the stamp set on today's video because we did the unboxing, but I will get into it on my channel at a later date. I'm going to pull open the ephemera, and this is called Sweet and Playful Turtles, and these are so cute. The little faces on the turtles are just darling. And so I'm just going to pull several of these out. I'll show you several. I'm not going to show you all because there are a lot of them, but I will try to represent some of them. So here's a little turtle with a gift and a floral on its back, and then we've got a little balloon. Here's a basket with some fruit in it, and we've got a little turtle down there in the corner. And then we've got a turtle hugging a little chick. Very, very cute. And a little pirate turtle. And here is an ice cream cone. And here's a little turtle with a little leaf kind of shading itself. And then I think that's a little butterfly. And we've got a little birthday turtle with a little cupcake. And I thought I'd do a birthday card, but I didn't have a birthday sentiment handy. So this one has headphones on, super cute. And this one has a bouquet of flowers, but there's lots, and I just want to kind of give you a feel for it. But so I've got the ephemera. We're going to use that, and we're going to use these 2 pieces of pattern paper, and I've got a top folding cardstock for my card base, and we're going to get it ready. And this is what I'm going to do is I am going to score this panel at 4 1/4 and then 5 1/2. And we're going to have like a little hinge here. So we scored it at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. And I got all of these measurements from Vicky's channel. She even had a little sheet with the instructions typed up on her channel. It's at VJ's Designs. And I actually snapped a little picture of her little instruction sheet so that I'd have it to go off of. And I'll try to link her video up so you can check it out. But I'm going to use the striped pattern paper for my card. And what I'm doing here is I'm doing a 4 inch by 4 inch panel. This is going to go on the lower half of my panel. And then I'm going to do a 1 inch by 4 inch. I'm looking at my instructions here, and I'm going to grab my pattern paper, and we're going to do a 1 inch by 4 inch. And then that will create our top layer. And so I've just chosen some pretty cardstock to create my card base out of that I thought would pair nicely with everything we've got here. And I'm just going to get my pattern paper strips laid down on there. And Vicky will say on her channel that she saw somebody making this and didn't know who it was to give credit. And so I don't know who that was either. I know that I saw Vicky make this, and so I'm going to name her. My card base was moving around there, and I decided to bring my magnet in and get it laid down on there so that I can hold this steady. So I will link all the materials in the description box below so that you can check out the Not Too Shabby shop. She has the best pattern paper and ephemera, and it's just always paired beautifully together. And so now we've got kind of a hinge. I'm going to bring in some ribbon, and we're going to create a bow on our card, and I've got some ribbon that's just about the same color as my card base, and I thought it would work nicely with it. I'm just going to trim the edges here. I kind of made it diagonal, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be too long once I get it tied, and I'll have to snip it down anyway, so we'll do it again. So I'm just going to tie a knot and then a bow, keeping the long side of the string so that I can wrap around and tuck in. And then I'll just work with this and get it positioned how I want it to get it to lay down nice. And then we will trim down our ribbon so we don't have these great big pieces hanging down here. But I think that looks nice. It really pairs nicely with the cardstock that I've chosen. And I'm just going to trim these off. And we've basically got the front part of our card ready to go, with the exception we're going to bring in some of our cute ephemera. Now, this is the hinge, and this is where my ribbon is. I'm just going to take my tape runner and run it along this, being careful not to get on either side of the score lines, because the score is going to create the hinge, and then we're just going to open it up, and that is super cute. So I'm going to need another one of these. I only grabbed one, but I'm going to need 2 of these because I'm going to use a 6 by 6 panel for our pop-up mechanism. And then I'm going to need a 2.5 by 2.5 inch square of this pattern paper to lay on the front of my card. So I'm going to just bring in my paper trimmer and use it, and we'll cut it down. I actually have some square dies, but I couldn't find them, and I thought, well, I should just show you how to use a paper trimmer in case you don't have square dies. I don't do square panels very often, but it was fun. This is a fun card. So I'm going to do 2.5 by 2.5. And this is going to give me the area to lay my piece of ephemera or my focal point. And I thought about doing the diagonal on this. I spun it like that, but I wind up not doing that. And I decide that I need another layer. So I'm going to bring in some more of that cardstock that I had left over. And I'm going to cut it at 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we'll layer this behind our piece of pattern paper that we cut there. And so we'll just get these 2 glued up together. I'm going to lay my pattern paper on top of that light teal cardstock. and just try and get it lined up with a nice frame around there. It takes me a couple of tries to get it lined up how I like it. And then I had it on the diagonal, and then I decided, no, we're going to go ahead and keep with the whole square frame and just do it like that. And so I'm just going to glue this directly down, didn't bring in any foam tape. And then we'll just bring in some of our ephemera, and we will have a cute little focal point with a cute bow, and we're going to have a pop-up mechanism on the inside of it. So I'm just going to dig through my ephemera and kind of audition some of the pieces and figure out what I'm going to go with. And I'm just trying all of them out. I kind of like the turtle hugging the chick, but then I'll see another one and I'll decide to go with it. So I was grabbing my sentiments. I've got some sentiments already prepared, and I thought I'm going to bring them in, and I thought I need to get something to match the sentiment. So I grabbed this one with the butterfly on the turtle's nose, and I think it looks super cute. And I'm going to get it laid down on there. I'm going to use a little sunshine for you, but I won't put it on the front of the card. I'm going to put it on the inside of the card. And we're just going to get our little turtle and butterfly laid down on here. And then I remembered I had some enamel dots that would match this quite nicely. And so I'll just bring some of those in, and we'll embellish our card with some little enamel dots. And they were the perfect color for my cardstock and the pattern paper that I chose. So I'm going to put 2 of these. I'm going to go with the darker ones because I think it kind of matches my ribbon and my cardstock. And then I'll lay 2 on one side, and then I'll put 1 on the lower left-hand side. We'll just have 3 little embellishments on there. I think this is a super sweet card. Very simple, too. So I've got my 6x6 piece of pattern paper, and I am just going to score it at 3. And then I'm going to spin it, score it at 3, and you've got 4 blocks there. And I'm just going to fold it corner to corner, and I'm using my scoring tool to kind of bring them together. And I'm going to just give it a good burnish, and then I'm going to burnish those scores that I made. And this is just going to create a pop. Now I've got it backwards. I'll push it in because you want, whatever side of your pattern paper that you want to show, you're going to be mindful of that. And I've got I want the critters to be on the back because I don't want that much detail on the inside of this card. So I'm just working these in. I'm pushing the folded one, the ones that have the crease in them, in the middle, and I'm going to just lay it down on the inside of the card here and glue it up. I'll give it a good burnish. It's kind of like when you used to make those little games with when you were in grade school where I don't even know what they're called, where you'd put little messages in them and you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then open it up and read whatever the message was. It kind of puts me in the mind of that. I don't know let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. It was like a little thing that you put in your hands and you just wiggled one way and then the other and then opened it up and then you had little messages written inside of it. It kind of reminds me of that. But anyway, I'm gluing this up really well, and I'm going to make sure I have that closed piece, the folded piece on the inside, and I'm just going to give it a really good press. And I'm even going to just bring in my magnet, and I'm going to work on getting the pieces that I need for the inside of my card. And these are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And you need 2 of these. They're going to go on that pop-up mechanism and create a place where you could write or stick some additional embellishments. Now you could write on that green, that mint green that I have in there because it's real light. But I'm just going to bring this cardstock back in and just kind of go along with my color scheme and get it laid down in there. So we'll just bring this in, and I'm just going to line it up inside there, try and get a decent frame around there. I'll have to move it around. And then I'm going to give it a good press, and then we'll do the top. And I think you could do this on your mechanism before you glued it in there. I I have to kind of tilt this and lay it in there. And if you had done it before you glued it inside your card base, it probably would have been a little easier. So I'm just going to give it a little press. Now I've got all that ephemera, so I'm thinking I need to bring in some more ephemera and my sentiment. And so I'm going to just kind of go corner to corner with this sentiment. And I think I bring it in and show you. This is Teresa's One and Done sentiment die, and I've paired it with her a little sunshine stamp, clear stamp set. Here it is, right here. So this is this stamp is called A Little Sunshine, and it's the One and Done die. And I had them already stamped and die cut from another project, and so I thought I would just use those, and I wouldn't have to create I wouldn't have to stamp another image. So I'm going to find me a little piece of ephemera and add it. And I wind up going with the cutest little butterfly. And I'm just going to put it in the upper right-hand corner of our sentiment panel and just give it a good press. And then we've got this area where we can write our message, and we've got a fun pop-up card. So cute. And I thank Vicki from VJ's Designs for running that video, because I watch her videos and I caught it. And here's some pictures. I hope you like it. And don't forget to shop not too shabby. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.